Hey guys, Movie Junkie for Life here, and this is my review of The Great Wall. And this one stars Matt Damon, Pedro Pascal, better known as the wonderful, wonderful Red Viper, who we lost so horribly in Game of Thrones. We also have Willem Dafoe and a bunch of Chinese actors. Because The Great Wall was a Chinese collaboration, first really of its, I think it's first movie that they tried to attempt with American actors, but it's directed, written by a Chinese studio, directed Chinese director, and so forth. So it's a movie about two merchants that are looking for I guess either the ingredients for gunpowder or actual gunpowder way back in whatever century that was, and they come across this battle where basically the Great Wall of China was built to protect the people from these monstrous creatures that exist outside the wall. So sorry to say, the Great Wall, okay, let me say first of all what I liked. I think everybody acting wise did the very best with what they had. While I felt like Matt Damon kind of stuck out, I could not get past the fact that it's Matt Damon. I don't know why. It just felt so odd to see him in this type of role. Not so much the fact that it's a Chinese movie or anything like that. It's nothing like that. It's to see him in this fantasy role. I don't think I've ever seen Matt Damon in this type of movie. So it was kind of odd. Like every time I saw him, I never really got immersed in his character because I kept feeling like he's Matt Damon. I didn't have that problem with Pedro Pascal because he's one of those actors. I think he's really good at doing diverse work. He was in The Mentalist, and I remember when he showed up as the Viper in Game of Thrones, it took me a minute to realize it was the same person. He's really good at immersing himself into these roles, and I think it's because he has a certain look that fits in to all these different roles. Matt Damon really did feel like Matt Damon. It's like Jason Bourne in this fantasy film. The CGI, there's a lot of it. It's okay. It's along the line of Seventh Son, which is a movie where I thought had some really decent CGI in it, but at the same time, overall, that movie is not really that good a film. And The Great Wall, to me, it's like the Seventh Son. It's a movie that it has some great CGI. It has a lot of action set pieces, and if you're into that type of Chinese fantasy films, they have a lot of them out there on Netflix and stuff. If that's your bag, you may enjoy The Great Wall more than I did. For me, it just felt like they were going through the paces, so to speak. Like there were set pieces, there would be a story that would end, it would have another story that would end, and it would go on and on like that. So while it was nice to look at, I love the costumes. I love the costume designs. It definitely feels like a fantasy film. It doesn't fit into any era, so to say. I mean, yes, granted, it is Chinese, but it feels very mystical, very fantastical, the look of it. And I really liked the costumes, the choice of colors and so forth. But overall, this movie it's okay. It didn't mesmerize. It wasn't as immersive as, say, like you're watching Lord of the Rings and you're totally sucked in to what's happening. It was just a movie that when it was over, I was like, okay, and it's one of those movies that you're gonna watch and you're gonna probably forget about in 3 to 6 months. You're not gonna really remember it scene to scene. There's nothing that really stood out for me. So like Seventh Son, which, like I said, I saw Seventh Son, there were pieces to that. For me, the CGI in Seventh Son, I kind of enjoyed because I like the transformations, and the CGI here was decent as well. The action set pieces were decent as well. But overall, as a movie, this is a very mediocre film, and I really don't think it's worth time at the cinema. I kind of knew going in that it wasn't gonna blow me away, and I was hoping maybe I would be wrong. Unfortunately, I wasn't. So I'm gonna have to give The Great Wall a 6 out of 10. It's an average film. It's not one of those fantasy films that will stand the test of time. I really don't think so. And while I admire what they try to achieve, maybe this movie will do better in with Asian audiences, but I don't think it will do that well on the Western side of the pond. So for me, it's a 6 out of 10. And that's going to be it, guys. Short review.